The first time I tasted buttermilk pie was at John C. Campbell Folk School. I was assisting in a cooking class. I was helping the instructor. And that was the first time I'd ever tasted it, and I really liked it. Of course, I began to wonder really quickly. I thought, now why have I never heard of buttermilk pie? Granny is plumb foolish about buttermilk. I get her groceries for her every week, and she's always got buttermilk on the list. Of course, she says the buttermilk that we buy is not like the buttermilk she grew up drinking. She wishes she could have some of that fresh, good buttermilk like she did when she was a child. Anyway, but when I asked her, she said, well, she just didn't know about buttermilk pie. That's why she had never made it. But as I began to research about it, it's a really common recipe, an old recipe, but really common throughout all the South. And if you're somebody like me who doesn't necessarily like buttermilk as far as drinking it straight out of a glass, you'd still like this pie. It doesn't actually taste like buttermilk once you get it made. So today I'm going to show you how to make buttermilk pie. First I'm going to go over the ingredients, but I'll put the link down below so that you can go visit my blog where the recipe is, and you can get the ingredients there too. But it takes 3 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, a half a cup of melted butter, 2 tablespoons of plain flour, that's what Granny would call it, or all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 cups of buttermilk, a pinch of nutmeg, and then your pie shell. Well, the first thing, and you can use a store-bought pie shell, I made one, but the first thing you want to do is put it in the oven at 425 for 4 minutes and then get it out. So I've already done that part, and now we're just going to mix up the ingredients. So first we're going to put the eggs and the sugar in the mixer and let them mix until thick. There's our 3 eggs and our sugar. Okay, I've let that mixed for about 3 to 4 minutes to get it thick and nice there. And then really, it's really simple. You just add the rest of the ingredients all at once. So we're going to add the butter. Make sure we get it all. The flour and the nutmeg all at once. The vanilla. Most importantly, the buttermilk. And then we'll let that mix till combined. Now we're ready to pour it into the baked pie shell. You don't want to overfill it. One thing that I do, if it gets too full, I have these little ramekins, and I pour the rest of it in it and bake them, and then it's like a little custard or something. These are some of my favorite things that I have. I have all different colors, but I love the story behind them. When Granny was growing up, her grandpa Truett lived with them at home, and they took care of him. And at a certain point in his age, when he got really older and he had some health problems, all he could eat mostly was oatmeal. So Granny's job was to fix his oatmeal for him. Well, in those days, these beautiful little cups and dishes come in oatmeal. So it was like, since Granny was the one that fed him, that was one of her chores, you know, one of her duties. She got to keep the little bowls, and then she'd give them to me after I was married. So I just love them. So if I have too much, you don't want to fill the pie shell too full of the mixture, I fill these little things up and just bake them in the oven along with the pie. So then once you've got it filled, you're going to bake it at 350. After you do the first bake in the pie shell, the empty pie shell, for 4 minutes at 425, you turn it down, turn your oven down to 350, and then you bake to it's between 35 and 40 minutes. It really just depends on your oven, but you're going to bake it until it's done, until it's firm. It kind of turns a light brown on top, and you'll know that it's done, just like you would any other pie. And if you have a larger pie shell, you probably won't have any extra over like I did, any extra left over like I did. My pie plates are kind of on the small side. So I just got the pie out of the oven. You can see it's kind of got a golden color to it, and it's kind of firm on the top. It's not jiggly anymore. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let it chill before cutting it and eating it. So we just finished up with supper and got the pie out of the fridge. We didn't let it cool all the way. We couldn't resist trying it. It's very similar to a custard pie. If you like custard pies, you probably like it. And if you're someone that doesn't eat sugar, I think you could pretty easily replace the sugar in it with one of the sugar substitutes that's really common out there. But you can see the texture of it. If you've never tried buttermilk pie, I hope you'll give it a try and see if you like it as much as we do. But I gotta come through here and clean my nasty hands.
Now I'm taking the whole pie. See you guys later.
Bring it back.
I'll fight you for it.